A lot of people think, generally speaking, think enlightenment is people who are floating, walking on water, or creating miracle. No, beloved, that is the mysticism of the yogic tradition. And we'll do a satsang on that one day. It's a whole satsang, it's fascinating. It's definitely for someone who's enlightened, but it's not something we talk about much. Because what happens when you start talking about spiritual experience and mysticism of one who is enlightened, then it starts becoming an obstacle. And that is the biggest obstacle on the path, is wanting to have a spiritual experience, wanting to be able to heal people, wanting to, all of this come from ego, by the way, wanting to have spontaneous kriya, wanting to have vision, wanting to speak in tongue, wanting this and wanting to see the light in the third eye, wanting to see the blue pearl. All of that, I will tell you, beloved, they are the biggest obstacle. That's why Devi Mayi Ma always say, be like a little child. Because a little child, have you noticed how they are so zen? They're like cats. They are right here in this moment. Isn't that beautiful, the quality of a child and of a cat? They're really zen. We can learn so much from a 5-year-old child. Not the childish, but the childlike quality of being zen, to be in the moment, not wanting anything, just to be here, joyous, playful. So in order to break a boundary, break a limitation, it requires mindfulness and awareness. Let's take a moment right now. Look deep inside, and for you, beloved, online as well. Look, what do you think is for you your biggest boundary or limitation right now? Because they will change. As you evolve, as you expand your boundary and your consciousness, it will evolve. You will encounter new obstacles. Because, let's take a moment, and I want to make one point more, which I forgot, and then we'll go into the session of Q&A. Let's take a moment. And for you as well, beloved, wherever you are, be mindful of your breath right now. Look at it. And after that, you can even pause that question or write it in the comment section. What is your biggest obstacle or boundary right now in your life, in this moment? What is your biggest energy habit that you're becoming mindful or aware of right now? And I will say, by the way, the moment you become aware of it, you're already 90% there. It's just a matter of becoming conscious and aware of it. Then the rest, with grace and with your own discipline and self-effort and discernment, you will overcome it. I can tell you that. So write it in the comment section, or if you have a question. Now, the last big obstacle from darkness to light, and that's a big one, is the wrong view. You could say the wrong perception. And that is extremely common. Coming to conclusion very, very fast. putting judgment, we already touched about that. And assuming. How many people assume? Because that is an energy habit. It's a big energy habit to spontaneously just assume and conclude without really questioning and leaving the door open. Wrong view is also, okay, let's say there's a little argument between you and your lover, or maybe with a beloved, a friend. And then you're focusing on one word, one thing, and you enlarge it. You make it so big. And then you dwelling on it for days and day night. And you enlarging it. And then your mind goes crazy. And then you fueling in it with your own energy, habit, and compulsion. You seeing it through your binoculars of your conditioning, of your accumulation. And you're reinforcing that suffering. You're reinforcing that pain. Or it could be in a drastic situation to not just something casual, but something like, let's say, your daughter or your son is preventing you from seeing your grandchild, and you had a fight, and then it escalated in something, in a situation that is very dysfunctional, and you're not talking to your own child, and you being deprived to see your grandchild because of that. Everyone suffer. You suffer, your child suffer, and the grandchild suffer. I'm just giving you an example. But you, within yourself, you amplify the situation. You seeing it with the wrong view. What about you see it, okay, this is becoming an energy habit of hurting myself and making myself suffering. I am going to free myself from it now. I'm going to forgive very deeply. First of all, forgive myself for the way I'm thinking. I am not blessing myself when I think that way. Have you realized that you're not loving yourself when you have a wrong view? You're hurting someone else. Well, not directly, but you are hurting yourself. If there's suffering involved, very often the person, most of the time we need to take responsibility from our own suffering, because most of the suffering comes from our own self, but it's through their stimulus from outside in the world. However, when you start seeing things with the right perspective, with clarity, because truly enlightenment, that's the most important thing, is to see things as they are, clear, objectively, not subjectively, not through the glasses of your conditioning, of your energy habit, of your compulsion, of your conditioning accumulation, is to see it directly. Do you know what it requires? It requires a lot of humbleness. It requires to really sit down and close your eyes and return to your breath and process your emotion, and then say, whatever happened, I'm going to forgive. I'm forgiving myself for how I'm seeing things. I am not seeing this properly. That you empowering you divine presence. You're not empowering you ego. You say, I'm giving you a scenario of how it all tied in together.